Good evening, everyone. This is Anand, and I would love to welcome every one of you and thank you for taking time and coming and joining this webinar. Anyways, guys, I actually am getting a lot of messages these days that you guys are panicked. The date has already been announced now, and most of you will be writing the JEE Mains exam in the January month. So I would start this session with all the very best for the JEE Mains, and currently we have enough time to crack this. But this 1 hour, next 1 hour, in which I am going to tell you exactly how you are going to crack it, what you should be doing, what you should not be doing, because both are equally important. So are you guys excited about it or not? So I'm just looking at the chat, guys. There are a lot of guys coming and a lot of chat is coming there. There's one thing that I would like to tell you, that I would be taking a lot of doubts towards the end, because I know that there are a lot of doubts, which book to focus, how much time I should be giving, and lot of doubts. So before we go ahead, let me first introduce myself. I'm Anand, one of the co-founder here at Vedantu, and I've been a teacher for the past 12 years with actually experiencing with my experience, in which I have taught students who somehow just cleared JEE Mains to that extent of getting AIR 1 last year. So this is my experience. So let me just tell you about myself a little bit more. I have done my BTech from IIT Roorkee. I had 12 years of teaching experience, taught and mentored more than 10,000 kids, right? And of course, few of them have got All India rank 6, 7, 41. But today, I'm not going to talk about these top rankers, because somehow those who have come here to attend this webinar, those have a feeling that, oh, I've just survived. I'm not done anything in the past 11, so I'm forgetting 11th. I'm not getting much in 12th. So can I clear this JEE Mains in just 60 days or 100 days ahead of me? The answer lies, and anyone who asks me, I just tell them the answer is yes. You can definitely clear in these 60 odd days or 90 odd days which is in front of you by proper planning and strategy. So let me start with this question, right? How many of you think is the cutoff for NIT is more than 90%? Or what is the cutoff? Second question is, what is the cutoff for NITs? Can anyone tell me? Okay, so getting a lot of answers there. Definitely few are correct, few are not. And answers are in very, very high range, right? Yeah, 180, 190, 200 out of 360 marks. So definitely lot of answers there, guys. And I see the enthusiasm, and great to see that enthusiasm. 50% and above is more than enough, which is 180 and above is more than enough to get a seat in NIT. So can we get 180 and above in the next 3 months? Just ask yourself, guys, can you get it? If you follow what I'm going to tell in next 40 minutes, the answer is yes. You are definitely going to get a rank in NIT. So let's start. As I said, I'm not going to talk about these topper strategy, but I'm going to talk about the story of a student who came to me last year, exactly at this point of time, and in fact even later, because that time last year JEE Mains was in the month of April, and this student, he came to Vedantu in the month of November when we launched our crash course. So he joined the crash course in the month of November. I exactly remember the date, 24th of November. And for the first time I interacted with him was in December, because when he gave the test, I looked at his marks and I realized that he is getting 160, 150, 160 marks in JEE Mains. And that mark to me was good, because I felt that if a student at this point of time in December is at 160, he should definitely get a very good rank. So when I called him and talked to him that, what do you think the marks that you are going to get? You know what he said? He said, sir, I'm thinking of 5,000 rank. And I actually asked him that, why do you think that you will get 5,000 rank? He said, sir, I was a student who did not take any coaching in the last 1.5 years, and I prepared for KVPY. But both in 11th and 12th, I failed to qualify KVPY, and therefore I think that I should be around 5,000 to 10,000 rank, and that is what I'm thinking, that 5,000 and above, anything that I will get is good enough. So I talked to him and his father, and we had a detailed plan. In that, we discussed that exactly what is his potential rank, and I actually told his father that his potential rank is not 5,000, but he can get 500 rank, on which his father actually said that, sir, I actually don't believe. And there is a YouTube link of the video in which Arjun and his father is talking about the last 3 months preparation, or last, in fact, 6 month preparation till JEE Advanced. You know what his rank was? You will be amazed to know that in these 3-4 months in which he prepared, right from December till April, he got a JEE Mains rank of 521. And not only this, he went ahead and actually got a rank of 328 in JEE Advanced. So, students, these 6 months, which is in front of you, 3 months till January, and then post that in April, when you can reappear in your mains exam, you have another 3 months, 6 months, you can change your life. It depends on what you believe, what your mentor believe on you, and what he or she thinks that you can actually achieve. And it all depends on that. And therefore, do not lose the hope, because all this story that I talk about, the students that I have taught in the past 12 years, this story is full of surprises. Sometimes it surprised me as a teacher. Student whom I believe that he could not get, somehow he got, because that student believes himself or herself. It actually depends on that. So today in my webinar, all I require from every one of you, that start believing in yourself. No matter what your teacher thinks of you, no matter what your parents think about you, it's you, what you think about yourself is going to change. And therefore I saw a lot of comments around, almost jokingly, that I will crack it in 1 month, or I will not crack it in 1 month, and question around these 60 days. Trust me, I have seen miracle happening in the last 12 months. And if I have seen with so many kids like Arjun, definitely you can be one. So are you going to be one? Just tell me yes or no. I think yes. The answer is yes. So here is Arjun. There is a wonderful video of him in YouTube. You can definitely go and watch that. He and his father talking about the journey. And I think you will be motivated. But today, I want a promise from you, that you are going to promise, not me, not to your parents, but to yourself, that you are going to get a rank. So with this, I just request to take 10 seconds of time. Close your eyes. I'm just closing my eyes. Just tell a number to yourself. A rank. Imagine a rank that you are going to get into JEE Mains. Okay? Now tell yourself loudly that I'm going to get this rank. And now you will get this rank. So let me show you how. So let me start with this. Guys, I'm going to share a schedule, which is a 10-week schedule with you, in which every week I have defined what you should be doing, what you should be practicing based on my 12 to 13 years of experience of getting students into NITs or IITs. And you should follow strictly. If you follow this, definitely you are going to be within 10,000 rank across the country, right? So let's start with that, and in which I will be also telling to those students who are definitely weak in respective subjects, who feel that they are not very good in physics, or they are not very good in chemistry, or not very good in maths, which topics are not to be left, right? And you are going to focus only on those topics if you feel that your subject is very weak in the next 2 months. So first thing, I will start with this. Let me just start it. Okay. So this slide is going to tell you that what is the weightage of physics, chemistry and maths, and how many questions are easy, how many are moderate, and how many are difficult. So first, as I discussed, that you require 50% and above. If you get 50% and above, you definitely get an NIT, right? And obviously the cutoff for JEE Advanced is even less. last year the JEE advanced cutoff was around 80 marks out of 360. So it is hardly 25%. So if you are more than 50%, you will get into NIT, and you can see the segregation of easy, moderate, and difficult. So in easy part, physics in the last 3-4 years have become little difficult, and obviously the type of question which used to come at our time in JEE Mains was comparatively much easier in physics, but now they have increased the level. But chemistry and maths remains at the same level. And when I say easy, easy means formula based questions directly coming from NCERT, right? So if you are doing NCERT book plus any objective book, so a lot of you are asking which book, but any book. It can be your Cengage book, it can be your Arihant book, it can be from every publication, but you have to complete that book. It can be even your coaching institute book, right? So NCERT plus any objective, it will be done. Plus what you have to do is your previous year questions. So you have to do these three things. You have to actually do NCERT, you have to solve objective, and you have to solve actually previous year questions. Previous year questions. And you can see that 60% of the paper is easy, direct, formula based, or repetitive. So previous year questions, why I tell? Because the paper every year they have repetitive questions, not exact formula, but the concepts are repetitive. Now moderate are those questions which are application based. So if you are doing NCERT objective and previous year, you are covering moderate part as well. So definitely if you together these two portion comprises of 80%, and rest 20% are difficult or moderate, and these are the questions which must be left in the exam if you are not targeting top 100 or top 500 rank. But if you are targeting anywhere between 500 to 5,000 to 20,000 rank, these are the questions that you should definitely leave, because they take more time. You generally tend to commit mistake in these questions, and they are hidden in such a way that because of this you will leave easy questions in the paper. So obviously these are to be left. Now question that you are asking is, so how do I know that which questions are difficult? My dear students, one thing that will come only with experience, and there you have to give as many tests as possible in the next 1.5 or 2 months time, and through the test you will have to analyze it, and then you will get to know exactly what is the difficulty level of these, which questions are difficult and which are not. And generally you will get to know, and as I progress I will let you know that which topics are not to be touched if you feel that you have not already touched and you don't know about those topics. Okay, so let me go to the 60-day plan or 10-week schedule and tell you. So in front of you is a physics 10-week schedule. Now I have segregated in such a way that first 4 weeks is definitely you have to do 12th, and then next 3 weeks you have, or 4 weeks you have to do your 11th, right? So this is a schedule if you want to cover the entire physics. But as I said in the beginning, that if you feel that you are not very good in physics, and most of my students, they are messaging me that in my crash course that, sir, I'm not very good in physics, what should I do? Now to answer to those all students who are not very good in physics, I'm going to tell you topics which you definitely should not leave, and what you should be doing is your NCERT book, and the second thing that you should be doing is the previous year questions for that particular chapter. And if you get more time, then solve any objective book on that particular chapter. So the topics are, which you are not going to leave. The first topic is current electricity, because current electricity has 10% weightage in the paper, and when I say 10%, physics has 30 questions in the paper. Out of 30 questions, typically 8 to 12% and an average 10% questions are from current electricity. So out of 30 questions, 2 to 3 questions are definitely from this particular chapter. The next is your EMI and this magnetism. So magnetism, EMI and AC, this particular chapter again has 8 to 10% weightage, and these are the topics generally when we are in a coaching institute we tend to leave, because there is a less focus on these topics. And trust me guys, therefore I have kept in the first 2 weeks, because these are the topics that you have to command. And if you are weak in the subject, you have to just spread this throughout this 10 week, and you have to just concentrate on these topics. The next is week 4, in which entire modern physics. This topic, modern physics, is directly formula based topic. If you have done your NCRT well, and if you have solved the previous year question, you know what kind of questions are going to be asked, and therefore this topic is a not to be left topic in your 12th. So 12th May, what are the topics you are not going to leave? Current electricity, magnetism, EMI, and modern physics, which is again 10% of the total weightage. And if you ask me about the topics of 11th, so there are 2 topics of 11th that you definitely should not leave, and that is center of mass and collision along with rotation. Obviously, these 2 topics seems to be very tough, but trust me, you don't have to do the complete chapter. There are few areas on which questions are repetitively asked. For example, in rotation motion, the question is asked from moment of inertia. So every year there will be one question around moment of inertia. Definitely. So obviously you don't have to go into the depth rolling or pure rolling or those concepts. But if you are done with your torque, angular momentum, topic like moment of inertia, you are done with rotation, at least from JEE Mains perspective. And the second topic is center of mass, collision and rotation, and then heat is one topic, heat and thermodynamics, which you are not going to leave. So this is majorly these topics, what I have mentioned here, almost constitute 40% to 50% of the questions which are asked in your mains exam. And if you are done with these topics, definitely you have an edge, because one, you are giving more time to these topics, and second, you don't have the fear when you go in the exam, because you know you have more time to attempt these questions, right? So this is one strategy that I generally recommend the student, but again it depends from student to student, right? So going ahead, let's go ahead and talk about chemistry. In chemistry, I will talk about 11th and 12th, and let me start with 11th. The first topic that I recommend is chemical bonding. This topic is extremely important, because chemical bonding again has 10% weightages, and most of you who are afraid of inorganic chemistry. Okay? Chemical bonding is a general chemistry which can be a part of inorganic, sometimes it's a part of physical in your coaching institute, but chemical bonding has 10% weightages, and inorganic, this is one of the most important aspect of inorganic or general chemistry. So chemical bonding you are not going to miss. The second thing that you are not going to miss is the P block. P block across your 11th and 12th, you are not going to miss. And again, P block together has 10 to 12% weightage. So I have kept it at week 3, week 4 and week 5. And I have spread it in such a way that you have ample time for each subject in each week, right? So chemical bonding, P block, all these will cover your 20% of your entire chemistry. So again, these topics, P block also has 10 to 12% weightages. And the third important topic of 11th is chemical and ionic equilibrium, and this whole thing has 12% weightage. Very easy questions, not as tough as you do in your exams which you have given till now, but chemical equilibrium and ionic equilibrium have very simple, easy questions, straightforward questions. So you need to just look at your previous year and define for yourself that what kind of questions are asked, and then go and read your NCRT books, right? So this is one topic that you are not going to leave. Apart from that, in organic chemistry, general organic chemistry, definitely yes, because a lot of the questions can be solved if you have done general organic chemistry well. And the next topic which is important, which is actually I have seen a lot of questions coming from in organic chemistry, is aromatic compounds. Although every chapter has aromatic compounds, but if you focus on aromatic compounds more, I have seen a lot of questions around that. And obviously, if you are not able to focus on all, then at least you should do alkyl halides and aryl halides, because this is one topic, general organic chemistry plus alkyl halide and aryl halide will constitute around 10 to 12% again in your chemistry. So chemical bonding, chemical equilibrium, ionic equilibrium, P block, general organic chemistry, alkyl halides and aryl halides. These are the topics that you are not going to miss at any cost. And I'm talking about those who feel that they are weak in chemistry. Although chemistry is 100% scoring, but in the next 2 to 3 months, you may not be able to complete the entire thing. And if you feel that you are actually very weak in this subject, then these are the most important topics of this subject, which you should not leave or compromise at any cost. So let's move ahead and go to maths section, right? Because I see a lot of chat coming, guys, and trust me, I will be taking lot of doubts towards the end. So please wait till the end and we'll take doubts towards the end, right? Again, maths, as I said, 50 to 60% questions are in easy section. And when I say easy, it means that they are just the questions in which you put the formula or values and you will get the answer. Now, last year, there was a question on matrices and determinants. And I saw a lot of teachers struggling in finding the solution. But most intelligent students, what they did was just put a value and got the answer. And the answer was just in 1 minute time. And you actually care for the answer because that will fetch you rank. So here, if you even don't know the method, many a times the value, if you know how to put the values, you will get the right answer, and that you have to learn in the next 2-3 months. And maths, trust me, it looks very tough. And it was toughest for me when I was preparing. But when I see mains paper, even I can solve it now when I'm not a maths teacher, right? It's very easy by putting formula. Just by looking at the question, you will feel that, oh, this will be the answer, and you will put the value and you will get the answer. So yes, maths is easy, but again, I'm just talking about the important topics. So in week 4 and week 5, I have actually mentioned the two very most important topics of 12th standard, which are matrices and determinants, and out of that also determinants. As seen again 6 to 7% question, which is 2 questions every year asked from determinants. And the second is vector and 3D. Vector and 3D together constitute lot of questions, and it is approximately 12%, which is very high. So 3 to 4 questions are only from vectors and 3D. So determinants, vector and 3D, and you are done with your 12th. At least you are there in the passing marks, right? So these are the two topics not to be left in 12th. And I've seen a lot of students leaving these topics and focusing on what? Indefinite integration. And trust me, indefinite integration takes a lot of time to practice, and no matter how much you practice, in every exam when there is a question on indefinite, you feel, oh, I don't know this. How will I get the answer? So these two topics, determinants, vector and 3D, in your 12th standard, you are not going to leave. In 11th topic, there are 3 important topics. One is straight lines and circles. So I have seen in coordinate geometry also, lot of questions only been asked from straight lines and circles and not from the second portion of coordinate geometry, which is parabola, ellipse and hyperbola. And the next most important topic is sequence and series, which is progression over here. So I put it in week 9. So definitely this is a very important topic which you should be really focused on. So these are the 4 topics: straight line, circles 10%, progression 6 to 7%, and together they again constitute around 35 to 40% of your total weightage, which means out of 30 questions you are prepared to 12 to 15 questions approximately. And what I'm telling you till now is, definitely if you follow this strategy, what marks are you ensuring? You're ensuring somewhere around 40% to 50%. And if you are able to get 50% marks, trust me, you are within top 10,000 in the entire country, right? It looks very simple when I'm telling you, but trust me, why we don't clear, there is a big reason behind it. I have seen 90% of your students who prepare, so 15 lakh students appear, but now I have the data that approximately in JEE Mains January exam, 9.5 to 9.6 lakh students are going to appear. Now out of that, 90% of the students who were in 11th standard already had given hope. So they've just filled the paper because their parents have asked to fill the paper, right? Or the form. So out of 9 lakhs or 10 lakhs, 90% have already left the hope. So how much is left? Just tell me, guys, how much is left? 10 lakh means 90 gaye, so 1 lakh students. And I have seen by the time October starts, when you start, at this point of time, you're confused between your boards. Your parents say, okay, beta, you can drop and then give the exam. So you don't know whether to focus on your competitive exam or to focus on your board. Then out of this 1 lakh students, 50,000, they say, and they tell themselves that, okay, I'm going to focus on boards. I'm not going to give this particular competitive exam, or I'm just going to give and I will just prepare it maybe after dropping. So how many students are left? Only 50,000 students who are serious across the country are left and who are preparing for the exam. You just have to ask yourself, are you within that 50,000? Then the competition becomes very, very easy. And you are there, if you are there within 50,000, if you have not given hope till now, you are there, and next 2-3 months, you just have to push yourself and get within top 10,000 rank, right? So it looks very simple, and trust me, it is very simple. So now this will ensure a definite top 10,000 rank, but this is not all. You definitely have to follow a schedule. You definitely have to do certain things. And I said there are certain things that you don't have to do. So let's go ahead. I have 5 tips for you which you should be doing apart from following this schedule on a regular basis, on a daily basis. And that will ensure that you are definitely getting a rank within top 10,000 rank, right? So let's go ahead and start with tip number 1. The first tip looks very simple, guys. It's just that you don't have to panic at all. You just have to keep calm. Don't panic at all. See, I was telling this story of Arjun. One of the best part about him was, although he could not clear, although I told him that he can get a top 500 rank, and he started believing in himself. So he said, okay, sir, I will get it. Just let me know what I have to do. And he kept following whatever I kept on telling him. So till the end, although his syllabus was not finished, we had to fast track all his syllabus. He did not panic. And I have seen numerous of students across my 12-13 years of journey, that those students who excel at the end, who don't panic. Because I get every day thousands of calls, and most of the students who are telling me, sir, I don't know what to do. And they keep on calling me because they don't want to believe in themselves. They just want someone to tell them that, beta, it will be okay. You will do good. But trust me, how many times can I tell you? I can only tell you once, twice, or thrice. So it is up to you. You don't have to panic, and promise yourself that you are not going to panic, right? So let's move. Every tip is important. So as we progress, the tip increases, and actually the second tip is the tip which I have seen a lot of students committing mistake. What is the mistake? When you have finished your 12th, you simply tell yourself, oh, I have forgotten 11th. So let me start with 11th. And you start doing all these tough problems of 11th, starting from algebra in maths, starting from, these topics like mole concept, mechanics, and you put lot of energies into that. But it does not solve the problem, because this is a time not to focus on your weakness. This is the time when you should be only focused on your strength topics and the priority topics that I have mentioned. So if they don't lie in your strength, you have to do that. But at this point of time, you have to focus only and only on your strength plus your priority topics. So don't do that mistake of again starting from beginning and starting to focus on your weaknesses. So you will not do this, right? So only and only focus on your strength. So let's move ahead and let's go to another tip, which is practice more tests. Now this guy, actually this looks very, very simple, mundane, that, oh, sir is talking about test. But you know why you don't give tests? I will tell you, because obviously I have that experience, and I have talked to a lot of students who don't give tests. Test ke baad, what will my parents say? Oh, you have not got marks in this test also. And because of that fear, you generally try to avoid test by putting lot of excuses. My syllabus is not done, my coaching is asking something, this test is asking something, and you actually are telling lie, not to actually anyone else but to yourself, right? So these are the excuses which mostly kids make, and it is just because of fear that what will your teachers, what will be your parents asking about the results. And test is one way to actually reach to where you belong, because test is a window which will not, it is not going to tell you rank right now. It is going to tell you your weaknesses, that okay, fine, I have done chemical bonding. Now let me attempt a test of chemical bonding and see how many questions I know in this stress environment. And you have to practice in this stressed environment, because your exam is for 3 hours. And if you are not practicing your mind and body to sit for that 3 hours, you are not going to get marks. And only by practicing this, which is test environment, simulating this test environment, you are going to increase by 5 to 10% marks. And this looks very easy, but this is a very important part of your preparation. You are going to give as many tests as possible. And as we progress towards the end, last 15 to 20 days, you're only and only preparing through tests. You're not going to study more theory, because theory will not be able, it is not a board exam. You're not going to reproduce the things. You have to train your application part of the brain, not the reproduction part of the brain, because board exam is all about reproducing the concept that you have learned, whereas the competitive exam is applying the concepts, and that will only come through practice, and test is the best way to practice. Okay, so let's move to another tip, which is the second last tip, which I say setting hours is minimum 3 hours. So typically this is a very important tip that I give, and as I moving forward, one of the most crucial tip. What I mean by 3 hours is, suppose you take up a subject like physics, right? And you sit to study. You have to minimum sit for this 3 hours with one subject. This is not for the total hours, but if you sit for one subject in a particular day, you sit 3 hours, because first half an hour, we just flip our pages and we don't know exactly what to do. So we are just flipping. And just after 30 or 45 minutes, we change that book and we bring another subject to study. Or we get up, we feel hungry, or we have to message. It's a compulsive behavior. We have to message at any cost to my friend, or we have to watch the message which has come. Avoid all distraction. Start preparing your body for these 3 hours, because all your exam, JEE Mains, JEE Advanced, will have minimum 3 hours, one slot, right? And your body has to be trained for that 3 hours. And if you can't do that, start with 2 hours and then gradually move to 3 hours. So any subject you pick, if you are not able to sit for more hours, start with 1.5 to 2 hours minimum. That is the minimum commitment that I'm asking you. And then slowly and gradually increase it towards 3 hours. But one subject, don't keep too many subjects at that time. One subject for minimum 2 hours and maximum 3 hours. And you cannot sit more than 3 hours also, right? You have to get up after 3 hours so that you relax and then come back rejuvenated to study for another 3 hours or 2 hours slot. So start slow, but gradually make a habit till 3 hours. So guys, I'm just speaking a lot of things. So are you really happy with this session or not? So let's just say yo if you are happy, no if you are not happy, and let me see the response, guys. And really, if you're happy, just click the like button, right? That you really liked it. Awesome, guys. I can see lot of yours. Thank you. I think you are liking it, and so कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता whether you are liking or not. It should benefit you, guys. And whatever I'm telling you definitely is going to benefit if you are going to follow it diligently. So let's move to the last tip. And last tip, I have actually copied it, or you can say I have borrowed it, right? So obviously I will take a tip after that. This is a simple tip to increase your marks in chemistry, and this is something that you have to do on a daily basis, because most of you ask how to remember inorganic and organic chemistry, and inorganic and organic chemistry cannot be remembered just by looking at the theory. So typically I say a student, you have to follow this pattern. You have to read NCERT book. Then moment you read an NCERT book, you have to follow it with an objective book, right? It can be any book, it can be your coaching material, but you have to follow the NCERT by an objective, and then again go back to NCERT and read the theory, because then you will know what you have missed out. And it is a repetitive process. So inorganic and organic is something, if you practice more and more, it will help you remember for a longer duration of time, and it has been scientifically proven that once you practice, until unless you practice and you only read, you are not going to remember it for long time. So if you really want to remember it, and it's been old saying, your parents also used to say, right, beta board ke question na practice kar lo likh ke. Now there is a scientific reason behind it. When we write something, it goes to our memory part of it, and it helps us remember the same thing for a longer duration of time. So similarly, objective helps you do that. So read, and you can't write it, so solve objective, because paper is going to be objective in nature. Read, solve objective, and then again read it. This pattern will help you remember this inorganic or organic for a longer duration of time. And organic and inorganic is same for mains, same for aims, same for NEET, same for advanced. So level is not very different, and everything is there focused on NCERT. So you have to do that, right? So this is all you have to do in inorganic and organic, and this is very important. You have to follow 1 hour daily in this subject, apart from any subject. So this is just when you are going to sleep, you have solved 50 objective questions. When generally you are in school, suppose you are going to school, most of you are going to school, and in the free periods, solve this. So you will save your school time as well, because most of the students also complain, sir, I don't know how to manage my time between school, coaching and all these things. And I tell, if you are, it's a compulsion to go to school. If it is, then definitely in the school time you should utilize, not by doing maths, or because most of your friends will be calling you here and there and your concentration will be less. So just do a remembering part, and there you can do justice to your inorganic and organic chemistry, right? So I hope you got this. So guys, obviously, you know, one important thing that I would like to mention here, and which is not mentioned here, is the secret sauce, which actually was the slide 11. And this slide 11 is blank slide, right? Now, this I have actually borrowed it from Kung Fu Panda. And I hope you have all watched Kung Fu Panda. And you know, in Kung Fu Panda, when actually he starts searching for the real secret sauce, what he gets is a blank paper. And that means there is nothing called a secret sauce. And nothing is secret over here. Guys, it's your belief. Whether you can do it or not, at the end will make you successful or make you not successful. And success for me is not about getting a rank. Success for me is what you think of yourself and whether you have achieved it or not. It can be 10,000 or it can be 1 lakh rank. But it depends on what you think of yourself, and you should just do everything to achieve that rank, right? So obviously, with this, exactly based on this particular schedule which I have mentioned, and again in these sequences where actually I discussed about this 10-week schedule, week 1 to week 10, similarly for physics, chemistry and maths and important topics, what we have done at Vedantu is come out with a very beautiful course which is known as JEE Crash Course, and we are following the exact this 10-week schedule there, right? And which has been taken by all the master teachers just like me or myself together, who have that experience of getting those students and making them cross the line, right? And cross the line is making you reach to your potential. And that particular thing is here in this particular, if you see this particular link clearly, I will show you that what this actually talks about. So it is vdnt.in/JE rank 1, and you can actually go and look at this particular link, and it will tell you each and everything about this particular course. So let me just go and actually type this vdnt. Yeah, so let me just type it vd.nt. So it is JEE rank 1, right? So it is vdnt JEE rank 1. Okay. let me just do it, right? Okay. So once you type this, you will go to this particular page wherein you can actually see who are going to teach. Pulki Jain, another co-founder with me in maths. Hari Luthra sir, who is a great teacher who is junior to me from IIT Roorkee. He will take your physics. Arvind sir, who just went maths. Namo sir, he is going to take up physics. Pahul sir from IIT Bombay, he is going to take up chemistry. And of course me, I will be also a part of chemistry faculty, and along with Meenu ma'am, who will be taking chemistry. So these are the guys who are going to take in physics. There is Vamsi sir also. And what you are going to get in these courses is obviously the crash course. Not only that, in January, you will also be getting JEE board classes in this particular thing. Post your January exam, you will be getting a 30-hour specialized course only for board preparation. And obviously it will be there will be a lot of tests, chapter wise, part test, full test, and you can actually browse through it and go through the detail, and you can find that lot of things will be there covered in this particular course. And one good benefit that we are going to get you is obviously this course is for 21,000, but you will be getting this course for the next 3-4 hours only at this particular price, which is mentioned over here. So I just mentioned, guys, just go through this. If you like, definitely, and if you feel that you can definitely benefit out of it, you should attend this course, which is completely aligned. The only advantage that I see from a crash course is it will keep you aligned to a particular schedule, and you will be taught the basic theory around it. You will be taught post that. So just like this class will be like, I will be teaching theory. Theory will be followed by questions, lot of questions in the class, which you will be answering in the class during the class, and then followed by lot of assignments and tests. So this has been designed in such a way that if you follow this course, solve all the assignments, you definitely are going to get a rank which you have just closed your eyes and talked to yourself, right? So obviously with this, I would love to take the doubts now from all of you. So I hope you really loved this session. You got what actually you came here for, and all the very best, guys. And remember the Nike saying. It was beautiful saying by Nike, and it said, just do it. Don't think too much. Just go ahead and do it. Right? So, okay, again, at this ending note, before I start taking doubt, can you just close your eyes? Again, tell that number to yourself. Can you do that? Okay. And just tell yourself loudly, I am going to do it. I can hear it till here. Okay. Chalo guys, all the very best. And now I'm just opening this to doubts. So let me just look at the chat and have the doubts. So, okay. So Srija is asking how to manage pre-boards time and study time. Guys, the priority should be your competitive exam, because if you are preparing well for competitive exam, you are done with your, trust me, you are done with your preparation. And obviously, when you talk about board exams and when you talk about competitive exam, board level is little higher. Sorry, the competitive level is little higher in terms of maths, and it is so higher that you are already prepared for your board exams. If you are preparing for chemistry, the level of board and your competitive exam is same. And in physics, all you have to do is you have to just practice few derivations, and that will be enough for this. And after your competitive exam in January, you can actually give entire 2 months to your board exams, right? So focus currently on competitive exams. Okay. So Saurabh is asking, please name objective books. So I actually, Saurabh, and for every one of you, objective book, any book is good, but you have to complete that book, right? And how many MCQ per day? And MCQ per day, approximately you should be solving around 100 to 180 questions, and that is how the assignments at Vedantu we have planned, right? Shiva Kumar is asking, is there any fixed syllabus for JEE Main? Yes, definitely there is a fixed syllabus for JEE Main, and you can scroll down the JEE Main page and you will get that fixed syllabus, right? Ravi is asking how to practice numericals of physics. So Ravi, I would just suggest there are few steps in physics. If you follow those steps in each and every chapter, you can solve any numerical in that chapter. And start with your previous year questions. They are very easy, initial previous year mains question, and then do any assignments post that. I will be taking a special session only on books, guys. So don't worry on that. And I'm sharing my email ID here, anand@vedantu.com. And definitely, in case you have any doubt, any query, you can mail me at this particular ID, anand@vedantu.com, and it will be very helpful because I will be replying lot of queries which I will not be able to take right now, right? So Ramesh is asking, give me some tips to crack JEE Main paper 2. So JEE Main paper 2 is basically an aptitude test, and there all you have to do is just, practice few objective questions around the aptitude, which is basic logical reasoning, right? NCERT, Himanshu, is definitely very important, and all of you who are watching this, NCERT is extremely important. And Paul is asking, is NCERT weightage reduced? No, Paul, NCERT weightage is still there, and definitely lot questions are directly based on NCERT, right? Ramesh is asking, I'm in class 12 and I have not prepared class 11th. I'm lacking preparation. What should I do? Ramesh, it is important that you actually do the important topics that are marked in 11th and don't focus on the entire topics. Shriram, actually, I will be sharing the schedule. Just ask the schedule on my email ID and I will be sharing it back to all of you, the schedule, right? Sarthak is saying, can I get a PDF of this session? Sarthak, definitely, if you mail it to me, I will mail it back to you, the whole schedule that I have mentioned over here, right? Siddharth is asking a very important question for those who don't know up tak anything. Guys, I have just told those who don't know anything till now, who have not prepared it well, they just have to focus on these important topics which I have mentioned, okay? Pokes, you are asking something, koi bhi respond nahi kar raha. Which is better, Laksh versus Vedantu, happy life? Anything is better if you just have to focus there, and everything is better. So just have to focus and dedicate yourself to that place. Karthik is saying discuss don'ts. One is, you don't have to focus on all the topics, Karthik. You don't have to, do lot of questions repetitively. You just have to do new questions every time of the same topic, and you don't have to sleep, extra sleep, and you don't have to eat, in these times you have to just prepare your body and mind according to the exam preparation, and therefore you have to always try to eat light so that you don't feel more sleepy, and you don't have to sleep less as well as sleep more. 6 hours sleep is more than enough for every one of you. How much time should be given on each subject? Shivam is asking. So, Shivam, time is dependent on you. But what I generally advise to students is 2 subjects a day and minimum 2 to 3 hours to that subject. Right? And Parmeet is asking, is the material of Vedantu sufficient for JEE? Yes, if you are focused on regular classes at Vedantu, and if you have done the material that has been provided, then definitely you will get a rank which you have already imagined, right? And how to reduce question solving time? It will only come through practicing in the exam environment, because most of us, when we are solving at home, we are very much relaxed and we take too much time to solve that. But at home, in the exam, we have to solve the same question in 2 minutes time. And definitely under stress, we perform a lot of silly mistakes. So the best way to actually improve the speed, or best way to time manage, or best way to reduce my silly mistakes is in the exam. You have to actually, whatever is the exam condition, you have to bring it at home and practice in the same way. And therefore, I have suggested 3 hours of studying time, because it will stimulate your body according to the exam condition. Okay guys, so I think a lot of questions are still coming, and I will be taking few more questions here. Suggestion on solving, yeah. So please tell best time to study. Sumit, no best time to study, because lot of guys study in the morning as I used to do, and lot of guys study in the night like my other co-founders did, and both of us or all of us ended in IIT. So there is no fixed time. It should suit you, right? Which objective book should we refer? Saurabh, I'm telling you that objective book is not important. Any book that you are solving, you have to complete it. Otherwise, do not pick that book. Okay. Email again. So email is anand@vedantu.com. And mastermind, I will be sharing the schedule if you mail me on my email ID. So the schedule will be shared over there. Football Geek is asking a very, very important question. How to prevent from being distracted? Guys, this is one thing that I'm very, very sorry, because in my times, at least there was no mobile phone. There were a lot of other distractions, but at least no mobile phone. Now, mobile phone has decreased our retention time. So if we sit for 3 hours, out of that 1.5 to 2 hours, we devote and dedicate to mobiles, because we have to message, we have to watch few things on YouTube, otherwise cricket scores. So we do a lot of stuff on that. So trust me, these are all distractions that we have created for our own self. When I've said you studying for these 2 hours or 3 hours, you should not have anything in front of you, only book that you are going to study, and that to one subject. That will help you align and orient yourself. Okay. So RSR is saying, why aren't there separate doubt sessions on Vedantu? Definitely there are separate doubt sessions. We have created a Telegram group in which every doubt is solved. Short notes important. Yes, short notes are definitely important because they will help you revise towards the end. And Yash is asking, it's HCV enough for JEE Mains? Yes, Yash, HCV is definitely enough for, in fact, JEE Main, JEE Advanced also. So guys, I will be taking these many doubts only, and towards what, for more doubts and clarification, you can mail me at this particular ID, anand@vedantu.com. I will try and be honest in replying to most of you there. And till then, just believe in yourself, follow the routine, and all the very best, guys. I hope you really got something out of this session. And if yes, just say with a yo and end with a yo. Okay, great. Getting a lot of yours. Chalo, thank you guys. And one question which was asked is what we are going to teach in Crash Course. It will be basically theory, basic theory of that chapter, followed by, and exactly following the same schedule, followed by a lot of objective questions, guys. Chalo, bye-bye, tata, love you all. See you in the classes. Bye-bye, tata.